So, rumours out that Douglas Luiz has agreed personal terms with Forest. Welcome to your transfer news. Afternoon guys, hope you are doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we'll give you the latest on Douglas Luiz, how that ties in with Yunus Musah, and what's going on in the playoff draws today over in the European draw for the conference and the Europa. I'll give you all the latest on that. So if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new, and they are back. Football Prizes is back, and they're back with a bang, with a huge giveaway, with the main prize of a signed framed Ryan Yates shirt, as well as the new home kit, £250 cash free as well, and then loads of Insta giveaways, including an Einar signed framed kit. So if you win that, talk to me, as well as a Milenkovic one. Go check it out. You can scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. So many Forest goodies to win. And speaking of hopefully new Forest goodies, is this true? Has Douglas Luiz been offered a 5-year deal? There are reports coming out of Italy today to suggest that Edu has been heavily moving on the transfer of Douglas Luiz to Forest. There are talks about him signing offering, a €2.5 million deal in terms of salary and a 5-year contract. Now that would equate to about 48k a week, which instantly puts alarm bells off in my mind. Because, how can I explain this, right? One, a lot of sources that come out of Italy aren't the most reliable. In my opinion, from doing this for a good few years now, sometimes they get talking to the player's agent. They want to push an agenda to push towards the Premier League and everything else like that. Now, what I will say is the links are definitely true. Forest are pushing hard to get Douglas Luiz. But when you look at this deal, a lot of it doesn't make sense, because the approach is going to be a loan deal initially from Forest. Now, the Italians are reporting as well there'll be a €30 million bid for Douglas Luiz. Now, I think there's a bit of truth in all of this, but a lot of wires being crossed. The salary could be true. Now, Douglas Luiz isn't going to come down to a €48 million fee per week. But what Forest might be doing here is negotiating with Juventus to pay X% of his wages. Now, let's just assume he's on 100k at Juventus. Forest will say, right, in this loan deal, in the first year, we will pay for X amount, right? And it's probably going to be that 48k. That's where I think has happened. Now, have Forest then gone and negotiated a deal with Douglas Luiz on top of that? Yes, that is quite possible as well. So because the whole point of this is that it should be a loan with an option to buy that turns into an obligation to buy. So that obligation, once triggered, means that the club and the player have to have an agreement in terms of salary, bonuses, etc. So this is why I think this one's taking a little longer than a few people expected, because there's a lot of layers involved when it comes to this conversation. And Forest is just going to have to iron them out one by one by one. Could this happen today? Maybe. Could it happen in a week's time? Possibly. We just don't know. It depends how quickly these negotiations happen, and are all parties willing to accept the terms. So don't believe the exact numbers. They could be true, but I just think it's a little weird that they're talking about the 5-year deal and what have you, when there's still the loan fees to agree and everything else. But Forest, please get it done. Please, I'm begging you. We need him, and we need him desperately. And there's been a few comments I've seen where people are like, yeah, but he's been crap at Juve. Do we want that risk? Should we be taking him on and what have you? I don't believe players go crap overnight. It usually takes at least 2 nights for a player to go rubbish. And he hasn't been crap for 2 nights for me. This guy is still one hell of a player, one hell of a passer, a progressor of the ball, finds himself in the right spots at the right time in the box, and can defend as well. This guy has every box ticked for me. Let's get it done. So that's the thing of Douglas Luiz. Now, this ties in to the Yunus Musah whole shenanigans. That's still a word. Do people still use that word? I don't know. But he isn't the priority for Forest. from what I've seen and what I've heard, this would be like a backup option if Forest can't get Douglas Luiz. Now, do I think this guy is better than Douglas Luiz? No. I think he's more techier than Douglas Luiz. I just don't think his end product is there. And the fee would be around £20 million, so this one would be a cheaper one for Forest to do. But there is a reason he's £20 million, because he just hasn't been able to fully break it in Serie A. So I'm still on the fence on this one, I'll be honest with you. Let's just get Douglas Luiz over the line. Things will look a lot better when it comes to our chances in the Premier League. And don't forget, we got a game tomorrow. I think we're playing Fiorentina, who lost to Leicester yesterday. So surely even Forest can get a couple of goals in that one. But yeah, so that's the midfield stuff. Let me just give you a quick update on the whole Europa draw, right? There's been a lot of misinformation put out about this, so let me talk you through it. And the draw may have happened depending on what time you're watching this. I think it's down for about 1 p.m. UK time, maybe 2 p.m. For it to happen. This is not a draw for the group stages, subject to what some people have been saying. They're seriously misinformed. This is playoff draws. So there will be a playoff draw done at 12 o'clock for the Champions League, then at 1 o'clock, I think it is, for the Europa League, then at 2 o'clock for the Conference League. Now, these are teams that have been playing and qualifying and being knocked out along the way since about mid-July. Like, the tournament started a long time ago. A couple of weeks ago. So once those teams from lesser leagues have been able to qualify, then the draw gets done. The official group draw gets done on the 29th of August, I believe, is the date for this year. So these ones for the Champions League and the Europa League will still be playoff style matches. Now, where this would technically have impacted Forest was if Palace had read their emails, they would be waiting until the 29th of August. Today, what's happening in the Conference League is that Palace will find out who their playoff opponents are. Okay, so that will be the game that qualifies them into the group leagues. We have no involvement today whatsoever in any of these draws. The only way this draw becomes relevant to us is if Palace were to win their appeal, I think it's this Friday, and then the results that come out next Monday are in favour of Palace. So this one will be Palace will get picked against X team. Palace are a seeded team. It should be a pretty crappy team, and they should be able to go on and win that. However, if we play devil's advocate and somehow Palace win their CAS appeal, then Forest would be replaced, the word Palace would be replaced with the word Forest. Hopefully that makes sense. So today isn't a day where you're going to get to find out, who the 8 games Forest have in the Europa League or anything like that. That will happen on the 29th. So hopefully that clarifies that for you guys. And that's your Forest news. It's been a bit quiet, but these are the headlines to bring to you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you've hit the like, make sure you've subscribed, and we'll keep you posted if anything else breaks. Come on, you Reds.